What's going on, guys? Mecha Ishi here. We're going to be taking a look at the Club Third Earth exclusive subscription only figure of the Thundercats classic Mumm-Ra. Let's do it.
138 in progress. For launch in 3, 2.
Step out of your world and step into my...
Welcome back, guys, to another Thundercats classic action figure review. And as you can see before you, I got the logo, I got his name. I have Mumm-Ra from the Thundercats classic Club Third Earth subscription. Now, this subscription exclusive figure comes enclosed in this awesome looking black mailer box. Of course, again, you have the logo with the two snakes, and you have his name at the bottom. At the top, you have the full Thundercats logo. On one side of the box, you can see some sweet black and white artwork of the evil sorcerer Mumm-Ra. And then on the other side, you have some more awesome looking artwork of, it looks like one of the entrances to his rooms. You got that awesome skull art, and then you have the sarcophagus at the back, and then you have this awesome witch's cauldron there with the bubbles and the smoke. I just love how much attention they put into the shipper boxes themselves before you even take out the figure and the original packaging here of Mumm-Ra. Now, this is going to be your standard window box packaging for all of the Thundercats classic figures. You can see the awesome artwork there at the bottom of Lion-O looking through the Sword of Omens. You see the Eye of Thundera, and I love how they have the blade actually molded into the plastic of the window. Then you get a great view of Mumm-Ra himself in his original form. He's holding his staff, he has an alternate hood, and then he has the Sword of Plundar there without the blades and two interchangeable hands. At the top of this box, you can see the full colored artwork of the Thundercats classic logo. On one side of the box, you can see the full Thundercats logo, this time around embossed, and it looks awesome. And then we have Mumm-Ra at the bottom, and we have the same artwork that we saw on the shipper on this side. And here at the back, you can see the fully colored artwork of both sides of that shipper box. And towards the bottom, you can see the fully colored Mumm-Ra logo and, of course, a bio for him. Go ahead and pause it right here if you want to read this bio. Alright, let's take Mumm-Ra outside of this box, and let's see what he's all about. Now, here's Mumm-Ra in his first form outside of the packaging, and this is so cool. I think the Horsemen have done an amazing job again. Now, Mumm-Ra stands at 5 3/4 inches himself, but his robe is at 6 inches in height, so you have to move the robe back a little bit so you can stand him up properly. And also that big staff of his, as you can see, is taller than Mumm-Ra and also at 6 inches. He also comes with that spare robe, 2 interchangeable hands, and just the handle of the Sword of Plundar. Now, the Four Horsemen have done an amazing job of recreating this classic villain from the 80s cartoon here into action figure form. I mean, he looks tremendous. You can see the sculpted detail of all of his mummified wrappings all around his body, individually sculpted and painted in that beige with a lot of white dry brushing to give it a really cool effect. And of course, you have his blue skin underneath, which looks so cool underneath that hood, and you see the mummified wrapping on top of his forehead. You got his deep blood red eyes, which match his hood color, and you have the outline around those eyes as well. I mean, this is so cool. But let me talk about the hood a little bit so I can remove it and show you the rest of this guy's body. Awesomely sculpted hood here, done in a very soft and flexible plastic, as you guys can see. You have a nice flow going down the back. You even have a little bit of a wash added into that red to accentuate some more of that detail. Nice sculpt of the tip, and you got some wrinkles sculpted in the back, and I just love the way it drapes across his back. This looks so cool. Now, to remove the hooded piece, all you have to do is kind of hold on to his head, and it's a very pliable plastic, so you can just kind of run it right on over, and you see it comes off nicely. If you also wanted to, you can also pop off his head easily enough, and that will help. So we'll just pop that head back in and take a look at the head sculpt. I really like the contrast that we have with the beige and white wrappings, and then you have that awesomely colored blue skin of his. And then you have some nice sculpted detail with the wrinkles around his eyebrows, on the top of his nose, even his nose. Look at that side profile, just like the way it looked in the cartoon. So cool. Lots of wrinkles going on, especially down by the mouth. And then you have his jagged teeth, which are nicely painted in that white, and you have the black inside. But this is such a cool looking head sculpt, not to mention the awesomely colored deep blood red eyes all within the socket, and you have the black outlining it to give it that shadowy effect. Again, this is the decaying form of Mumm-Ra, as you can see by the very frail looking body, which is done so well. And I love the added layers of all of his wrappings sculpted on from his arms, on his body, all individually sculpted and nicely painted. This is so cool. And all of the extra wrappings that he has, these very loose pieces, are also done in a very soft and flexible plastic, as you can see right here. Even by his head sculpt, this looks amazing. We have more of that blue skin tone by his hands, and nice separation between his hands and the rest of his wrappings, and the same goes for his legs. Now, as we go down towards his feet, you can see how nicely sculpted they are. Again, the paint separation is well done, and he even has a little sharp edge at the tip of his toenails, which is very cool. And his hands, by the way, are also nicely sculpted. You can see one with a grip and one with a little bit of an open, more clawing-like hand. This is just a cool Mumm-Ra. Let's put the other hood on. Now, the other cloak that he comes with is not as flared out as the one you guys saw before. You can see one side is closed off, and then he does have one side open, and then he has a straightforward forward hood just like what we saw before, but it's going to be a little bit easier for me to put this over him once I take off the head. So I'm going to easily pop off the head as you guys saw before, and I'm just going to open this up and slide the figure into the cloak just like that. There you go. And now I'm gonna pop the head right in. The hole here is a little more narrow than the other cloak, and now we have more space to pop this head on. So I'm gonna slide that in, make sure I hear the pop. And now we have Mumm-Ra in the other cloak, and as you can see, it's a little more mysterious with half of his body being covered. We do see a part of him, but I don't know if I like how the wrappings are just coming right out of the hood. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. Now the wrappings coming out from the cloak was bothering me a little bit, so I was able to shove the head from within the cloak and push it on all the way up. Thankfully, we have this nice, soft, and flexible plastic, so you can stretch it a little bit. And as you guys can see, the head is in place. So now all I have to do is slide his mummified body until the peg and the peg hole connect. Make sure I hear that snap. And there we go, we have a much better looking Mumm-Ra in this cloak. So again, he does come with 2 interchangeable hands, 1 for each of his arms. Now we do have another claw-like hand for his right arm, and then we also have a more grip-like hand for his left. Now to exchange his hands, all you have to do is kind of wiggle and pull this piece out, and as you can see, we have a nice peg hole there to slide his alternate grippy hand for the left arm. And here we have his other accessory, which is the handle of the Sword of Plun-Darr. So of course, we don't have the fully evolved Mumm-Ra here with the awesome looking Sword of Plun-Darr, but at least we got the handle to start things off and give us hope for the future, right? We do have a spiral here at the handle, nicely sculpted, and then he has these 4 prongs towards the end, which look like snake heads. So very cool looking. Not really much going on in terms of paint. It's just all done in that mustardy yellow color. Now Mumm-Ra does come with this awesome demon-headed staff, and it's all done in that jet black. It's over a nice crooked looking staff, which is done with some nice sculpted detail with the ridges, almost like it came from wood, and I just love how it looks. This is so cool. Great separation between that jet black and the red of his horns. The eyes are nicely done all within the sculpt. And then of course you have the red teeth. You got some fangs coming upward, and you got some of his teeth going downward. They even painted red inside of the nostrils of this sick looking skull. Now I'm going to keep his cloak off for articulation because it will hinder range of motion, but we have the head that is on a ball peg, so he can rotate the full 360. You got a little bit of tilting action, and he can raise his head up a good amount and also go down a decent amount. Now for the articulation of Mumm-Ra, it's going to be a little unique because he does have the wrappings on the back of each of his forearms. So if you want to rotate the arm forward, you can because the straps are towards the back. So just rotate both arms upwards and bring it towards the front. So now we have the wrappings in the front, and you can do the same thing all the way around. If you keep the wrappings as they came out of the box, you're going to be limited in range of motion going upwards. As you can see, the wrapping gets stuck on his back. Now we also have a hinge at the shoulder, so you can elevate his arms, but it's going to be somewhat limited. There's also a nice hinge at the elbow and a rotation, but as you can see, he gets caught up in the wrapping if you rotate it all the way. And we have a rotation at the wrist and also a side hinge as well. Now I showed you guys the gripping hand that has the side hinge, so it gives you some displayable options when posing him holding those weapons, but his claw hand actually comes with the normal styled hinge, so you can also have some variety when posing your Mumm-Ra. He also has a full 360 waist rotation. Now even though we have softer, more flexible plastic being used here by his skirt piece with all of those wrappings, his range of motion is still limited. As you can see, I can kick his leg up to the side about that much, and here I'm kind of stretching the plastic, so I got to be careful. And we can also kick up a little bit more towards the front. Towards the back, because he has this slip piece on this side, he has great range of motion there. We do have a single joint knee, but we have a nice rotation at the knee joint as well. We do have an ankle joint, which allows for great range of motion going downward and upward, and I love that we have the nice ankle rotation. So nice ankle articulation, and just in case you're having any trouble standing him, we do have 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Now although this is not a very impressive sight, we do have the beginning stages of the mutants in the Thundercats Classics line with Mumm-Ra side by side with Jackalman. So hopefully as Super 7 and the line continues to flourish, we'll get more mutant characters. And here we have the never-ending battle of Lion-O up against Mumm-Ra. Now this is only the start. I hope Super 7 continues on with the Thundercats Classic line and we get some really cool things, including the fully transformed Mumm-Ra. That is gonna look awesome, but for now I am very happy with this Mumm-Ra figure. So there you have it, guys, my video review of the Thundercats Classic Club 3rd Earth exclusive figure, Mumm-Ra. So excited to have this figure. The 4 Horsemen have done an amazing job, and I'm so excited of what's to come between the Horsemen and Super 7. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up and check out my channel for other reviews I've done, and I have so many cool things coming your way, so make sure you all like, subscribe, comment, and share. You know what to do. Peace.